The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my show 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in North Alabama. And you can also view my videos and everything else that I do at yellowhammernews.com, on my Facebook page, YouTube page, etc. at the Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Becca Music. She is the CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people, smart enough to leave all the violent metaphors to me. And we will get
not a fan. Not a fan of those.
Not a fan. But let's go ahead and get to a bunch of them right now. It's time for the 2-minute warning. It's a bloodbath, Mecca. Oh. It is an absolute bloodbath, and I don't know how else to put it. But that's an accurate way to frame what happened on Tuesday. You have a really, really bad situation for Republicans. And a lot of people look at this and go, wow, Mamdani won. That's what they're focusing on. Well, it's New York City, of course. That's going to go that way. Virginia, they looked at it and said, oh, maybe we could pick something up here, blow out there. Well, maybe New Jersey. No, blow out there. But then people don't even pay attention to some of the other stuff that happened. And also in Virginia, in the legislature, a complete disaster there, no question about it. You have watched as Democrats have seized huge seats there. And then, California, write that off completely. But go down to Mississippi. Redrawing of districts via the court, like happened in Alabama, lead to the Republicans in that state losing their supermajority. Now, not really that big of a deal, and yes, it was redrawn, and yes, the Voting Rights Act might change some of those things. But Mecca, to call this a bloodbath is not a violent metaphor. It's a fact. Okay, no question about it. That's what happened here.
Well, what I want to give you credit for is you criticize the media constantly. But you're absolutely right. What happened in Mississippi, what happened in these state legislatures is very, very important and very impactful. I would say it's actually, I wouldn't say bloodbath, a crime, though, maybe that's not. that it's not being covered as it should.
Yeah, I agree with that. Part of the reason is, well, it's not. So you lost your supermajority. Who cares? But maybe there is something to be said about down ballot. Now, of course, the redrawing of those districts as well. But let's talk about the ones that everyone else are talking about. Donald Trump did not play in any of these districts, really. Mm-hmm. He did not go in there and put a bunch of money in, endorse early on, do all these things that he probably should have done. And then afterwards he goes, Trump wasn't on the ballot. It was a government shutdown. What election? I didn't even know it was happening. He kind of like throws his hands up in the air. And that's the worst version of Trump, in my opinion. The worst version of Trump is this: it's not my fault. If I was there, it would have been fine. It's like, dude, you're there. Like, you could have been there. You could have made those choices. And then out of all the races, he decides to get involved with Cuomo. And that's the one he decides to get into. The guy least likely to win, the guy who has a bad history with Donald Trump, the guy who is, by all attempts, a creep of some kind. And it's like, why are you choosing him at all and then losing? And so I think this does not bode well. But on the other side, I will say this. There are Democrat districts and Democrat states, and we should not be too surprised by this. The blowout level of it, that's a bit of a problem.
That was the surprising part.
Yes.
And I'm very curious to see how far this carries over into 2026.
Mamdani is the most important person in the country right now. I'm not being sarcastic. He is. If he does the stuff that they say he's going to do, it's going to be crazy, and Donald Trump will be able to have a villain. And I think that's where Donald Trump best plays. All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about this government shutdown. Can we send my wife back to work? I'm tired of getting back to my house, my wife being there. It is time for her to go back to work, but that has not happened yet. The election, believe it or not, the going so well for Democrats doesn't really give them any reason to make a deal at this point. Now, as I always say, by the time a lot of you see this, a deal might have already been made and the government might be open. That's great. But if I was a dad, I would look at what happened there and I would go, why would I make a deal? Why would I do this? Well, the things seem to be going great.
Trump said it had an impact, okay? Yeah. Rasmussen polling said it had an impact. It's definitely had an impact. And the longer it goes on, the more people blame the party that's in power.
It's so funny. When I put election impact on there, I'm thinking about the election's impact on the shutdown. I'm just saying this is interesting
Yeah.
because when you see it, you see the shutdown's impact on
Yes.
the election. But since we already talked about the election, common sense would say we're going to talk about the shutdown instead here. So again, you're correct. Yes.
Thank you.
But that's one of the reasons why I think Democrats want to go on for so long,
Yes.
because I think they view it, as much as we have polls that show kind of mixed feelings and stuff like this, Democrats are very animated by
This actually solididies their position in the corners. Like, there's no reason for them to come out either side at this point. It definitely doesn't help the shutdown.
I don't know about that. On the Democrat side, I agree with that. On the Republican side, I think Republicans have a lot of incentive to come around for one reason not to do it. The position they staked out from the very beginning is we're not moving. So now whoever loses, that's it. Who's responsible for shutdown? Whoever blinks. Whose fault? Whoever blinks. And that's really where it is right now. Because whoever caves could have caved first. And I don't think they're going to. But it is still the same thing that we've been seeing for a while. And I've said last week, it's Democrats, and there's like a whole bunch of them talking. And then it's Republicans, and it's just Trump.
Right.
Mike Johnson goes out and they say, "Hey, what did you blah blah?" He's like, "First, I'm hearing about this." It's like, wait a second, no, I don't want that to be responsible. But the point he's making is, I've already passed my bill, so it doesn't matter. And if they say, "Okay, extend the bill out till January 5th," he'll just go pass it again, and that'll be done. Same exact bill, clean CR, boom, and they'll be done. And I think that is still the same states at play, but the Democrats, I think, have been emboldened pretty strong in this. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about SNAP benefits. I praised Randall Woodfin, I think, for like the second time in my life last week when he said, "Hey, I'm going to put $1 million into the SNAP benefits, or at least into food banks and stuff to help people on SNAP benefits." Now you're seeing all over the country Republican governors making the same decision. Governor Kay Ivey, the Department of Human Resources, I believe, or whatever it's called, in Alabama, combined putting about $5 million in. If you're part of a temporary aid and whatever service, you get another $300 for 11,000 poor children or something along those lines. In Tennessee, $300, or not $300, but another $5 million. All across the country, Republican governors are slowly taking the position that the SNAP benefits are going to cause a problem, so they're trying to mitigate that. That again goes to show that it's having an impact, and it's not great.
And did you see her statement about it? She said Alabama cannot be both the state and federal government.
Yeah, and that's saying open the government.
Yeah.
That's really shit. But that message is not for her. Or excuse me, that message is not for Alabama's elected officials. That message is for Senate Democrats. And they make it very clear, these Republican governors who they're saying, we're talking to these Senate Democrats, they need to open up the government and let this happen. And I think this goes to show you they know this is going to be a big issue. And I'll point out, 3 days ago was the first missed check. Okay, so it's not as if people were not getting paid for all this time. The fact that people were going to food banks 2 weeks ago was probably just a preparatory measure. Thank you. That's what I was going for. And not necessarily because they were hungry at that particular moment.
Have you ever lived paycheck to paycheck?
Absolutely.
Where you're living on your last $5 for
My mother
a week?
was a single mother, sent two of her kids to
and
Canada.
your
Hold on,
mother's
hold on.
amazing.
My father was in jail for not paying child support. I think I might understand that. Okay, I was making $800 a month in the Army.
But do
I
you
understand.
remember, like, when you have that, like, last $20 in that account? And
Absolutely.
Okay.
I do understand that. I'm not begrudging these people for preparing. I'm merely making the point.
Okay.
Now, and actually it kind of goes fishtails into what you're saying here. Now that the checks have missed, it's going to get far more serious.
Oh,
they were already
absolutely.
freaking out, but she didn't let me finish.
I
So
apologize.
there we go.
Wait, somebody got cut off on this show, and it wasn't me?
Instead, she made me
Wow.
identify my father as a cop.
I didn't do
It's
that.
unbelievable.
You're listening.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about the AEA and the ALGOP. Let's talk about that for a second. Are they friends or are they foes? They're foes. Okay, we move on, because that's basically the gist of this. We're trying to pretend, a lot of different people seem to think that there could be some sort of a relationship between these two entities. And I'm not, our next guest, John Wall, is probably going to tell us it's best that there be a relationship between these two entities. And he's probably right. I don't care, though. And I'll be completely honest with you. I have a really hard time understanding it. You know why? Because after my father went to jail for not paying child support, and I joined the Army and then went to college and paid for it all by myself, I was a talk show host in Alabama for the last, for the last 20 years. And then I knew that the AEA was at war with Republicans for the last 20 years. And it's it's been longer than that. Don't get me wrong. It was well before my father went to jail for not
Listen,
paying
I also want to add, your father was a Vietnam War veteran who had issues and
Don't make it
still loved
serious.
you.
Don't make it serious.
Well, you're making it sad.
You're
making. I don't like that.
I'm sorry.
He has since passed away, and I think we should talk nicer.
I'm sorry. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I don't like it.
All right. I'm going to get lectured later, I'm sure.
Yes.
But here's the truth. Here's the truth about this. For longer than that period, the AEA and the ALGOP have been at war. And there's been attempts to kind of make peace. But behind the scenes, the AEA has been trying their best to undermine the Republican Party from within and to embolden Democrats. Am I right or wrong? Can they be friends or foes now that we've gotten completely off track?
Okay, listen, historically, foes.
Yeah.
Like the best kind of foes. It was so much fun. I nearly missed that. But now, obviously, you've got to evolve. And the AEA has evolved and has tried to seek more middle ground. Do you think they haven't tried to seek middle ground?
Oh, they are. They have no
But you're
choice.
saying no, and it doesn't count. And
You told me not to use violent metaphors, so I'm not going to do it.
thank you.
But I am going to point this out. Yes, because they have no choice. The minute a choice exists, they're going to make the other choice. Look at the Mobile election. Why did they give $100,000 to Barbara Drummond in Mobile? Well, what education situation are they advancing in that election? None. What they're doing is they're giving her $100,000 to send a message to all the other Democrats in the state that we will back you no matter what, given the opportunity. And that's what I think the message is. We are way long in this. Do you want to respond to that?
No, go.
Sam, right?
Go.
Okay,
No,
right.
I didn't say that.
John Wall will be with us with the ALGOP. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sport. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Bring the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, fresh, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. My friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
At Elite Door Service, we're your local experts for all things garage doors, residential and commercial. Our licensed and insured team is led by a certified master technician. When it comes to garage doors, don't settle for average. Choose Elite Door Service.
Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents to mosquitoes, termites to bed bugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think pest control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com. Scout Pest Control is locally owned and operated. We offer superb customer service and can even clean after pests. When you think pest control, think Scout. Call us at 262-116-1088 or visit ScoutPestControl.com.
Think you need a new roof? Think again and save thousands.
We'll help you put off the high cost of roof replacement for at least 5 years.
Or 10.
Or sometimes even 15.
For America's most trusted roofer, because we always try to save your roof rather than replace it.
We'll store your roof for a fraction of the cost of a new one.
But don't wait. If your roof loses too much protective coating, it's too late.
Call now or send the code and we'll give you an assessment of your roof for free.
What could make a free phone call and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Right now, you could be paying as high as 20% interest. Your new interest rate could be reduced to as low as 2.48%. You can refinance any existing car loan or leased car and save money every month. Make this free phone call and learn how to save hundreds of dollars a year by refinancing your existing car loan.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 Sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports or anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I'm Dale Jackson, and this is Mecca Music as always.
And this week, we have the chairman of the Alabama Republican Party, John Wall, here. Join us. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, it's good to be on the show.
Now, I'm not sure if you got to witness the fantastic first segment, but we were talking about the AEA and the ALGOP.
Look, I have experienced Dale, both in studio and on radio, so I get a pretty good picture of it. And look, this is fascinating to me. I'm going to dovetail this into where I was last night. I was at the Turning Point event in Auburn, where we had Laura Trump and Eric Trump near Tupperville, and talking about the legacy of Charlie Kirk and what he brought to the political conversation. And they played some videos from him where it was remarkable. When we lose is when we stop talking. And so, look, do I agree with the AEA? Absolutely not. I actually find it almost a funny subject because I was the chairman who got off stage chairman and passed a rule with the state party saying that the AEA and the NEA and the National Teacher Union could not contribute to Republican candidates for state school board or county school board because I felt that it was a conflict of interest. We have a different goal for education, and we always will. There's going to be a separation between the Republican Party and the AEA forever, because their goal is to protect the current system, protect the bureaucrats who run our education system, and the Republican Party's party are our children. We want to put parents back in the driver's seat. We want them to be in control. We want education freedom. And in order to do that, that's going to always be at odds with protecting the status quo of the current education.
So let me ask this question on this. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about this because there's other things to discuss.
Well, first, I'm going to challenge you since you would do it to me. Would you not agree with the statement I just made?
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. So here's the question. The AEA has played inside partisan primaries for the Republican Party for years. I get flyers from candidates that say paid for by the AA, and the candidates go, I got nothing to do with that. Yeah, and so that sort of thing. Is there any way to keep them out of that?
Yeah, well, the rule actually says if there's communication, if the candidate knows it, it goes past just a contribution to also that in-kind support, where if they're soliciting it or if there's a relationship there. But look, the bottom line with the actions I took, and I want to make this very clear, we were holding the AEA accountable because they were making some strong-arm positions towards homeschools. Saying that we see 5,800 students that left the public system for other options. And we were saying that's a good thing. Like, parents should be in charge of that. Like, the AA shouldn't be worried about that. They should be trying to improve public education. So they fight for the market share. Free markets are great. And all I did was tell them, look, I want you to be accountable. I want to hold you accountable and say you are not going to try to regulate homeschoolers. And I get them.
And they agree.
I got them to make that deal. And look, I feel like I'm, I feel like a Donald Trump type moment. I got my adversary, my enemy, to make a deal to do what I want without giving them.
Well, then you took heat from it from the inside, real quick, because Mecca has a question for you. But you took heat on the inside there.
And look, I'm disappointed with that heat. I'm just going to be honest with you, because I think if you're looking at this, we need political leaders who are willing to talk to anyone about holding them accountable and standing for good policy. I'm tired of watching conservatives wait till legislative session, we'll get on the back foot, and they're outmaneuvered by the left.
I agree with that.
And we're not going to let that happen. Look, I am not sorry for what I did. I would do it again. I will stand for the parents of Alabama. I will stand for education freedom, and I'll stand for our homeschoolers.
Listen, we've had a debate, ongoing debate on the show, as we often do. Should municipal elections be partisan?
Oh, I love that question, actually. I think yes, and I'll tell you why. For me, it's very simple. The people deserve to know the tags that go with the candidates. Municipal elections, whether it's mayor, whether it's city council, there's so many decisions that are made that regulate people's everyday lives with these positions. And a lot of times, shocker here, politicians lie. And so if you're just looking at a politician, what they're sending out in their mailers, whatever, you don't necessarily really know where they stand and what background is. And I think the political party tags help educate the voter.
You don't think that damages the ability to conduct city city business, if you will, the government? Does that bring in a whole world of negativity and contrast that impairs their ability to actually run a city?
Look, they're already going to come into the same contrast if they have worldview differences. All the political tactics are going to be to help educate the voters before we get to the point where they start having these differences on the city council.
Dale,
I agree with that. I mean, it just makes it easy to see. I mean, it just tells you everything is happening. And those guys are going to figure it out when they're dealing with each other or what they believe. You'll see that on the Huntsville City School Board and anywhere else. You're also a member of the library board. And this
I thought the governor liked me before she appointed me to that.
You're right in the middle of it. They're upset that you're the ALGOP chairman and on that board. There is no real conflict there. I think you're pretty open about where you stand and where the ALGOP is. There's been a lot of conversation there, and there's been a lot of people that seem to have a real problem with how you've acted on this board. And but I think anyone outside of those rooms, the vast majority of people are going to generally agree with you in Alabama. Why do you think that this particular issue with library books and things like this is so damn contentious?
Yeah, well, look, I think it's because it involves our children. Look, whether we like it or not, the biggest battleground, the biggest culture war in our country right now is the hearts and the souls and the minds of our children, our kids. We see this education system, the libraries, and I'm going to be brutally honest. I was sitting at that table as chairman of the state library board, and I watched the parents coming in and bringing books that, quite frankly, wanted me to crawl under the table. It was incredibly explicit, incredibly embarrassing, and they're meant for 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds. I'm like, not okay. The people who are advocating for this to be put in front of our kids are sick. And I will stand against it. I will fight against it. And I think the vast majority of Alabamians agree with me on that.
Okay, listen, we were just talking earlier in the show about a shift. Mississippi lost their super majority. What are you expecting in 2026 for Alabama? And do you expect to flip any seats or any seats to flip? How about House District 10?
Well, look, I have a track record here you can look back at. So I've been chairman for 4.5 years, went through the 2022 cycle, 2024 cycle. 2022 was not a red wave. It was actually, we lost seats, Republicans across the country, except for several states. Alabama was one of them. We actually picked up 40 seats in the state of Alabama. And so I plan to win here no matter what happens nationally. But we do that by being bold conservatives. I think the American people are tired of the status quo. They're tired of political correctness. And when you look at areas where Republicans do well, it's states like Florida, where you've got a governor who's towing the line and making sure that he stands for freedom and liberty and putting people first again. And I think that's the message we have to spread across the entire country. So I'm optimistic for Alabama. I am not as optimistic for the country as a whole when it comes to the midterm elections. I think yesterday or Tuesday was a very serious thing for the party. I think they need to figure out how to change their messing for 2026.
And just to reiterate this, the 40 seats you're talking about were also county commission seats and all sorts of other seats, not just state legislative
Correct.
seats. So that's where those numbers come from, and the Republicans already had a super majority. All right, John Wall, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming on, head of the ALGOP. He's out of here. Mecca's out as well, so the show gets so much better on the other side. I am Dale Jackson. We'll be right back. It's Alabama Politics This Week.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. My friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you. They've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Scout Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents to mosquitoes, termites to bed bugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think pest control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com. Scout Pest Control is locally owned and operated. We offer superb customer service and can even clean up after pests. When you think pest control, think Scout. Call us at 256-216-1088 or visit scoutpestcontrol.com.
At Elite Door Service, we're your local experts for all things garage doors, residential and commercial. Our licensed and insured team is led by a certified master technician. When it comes to garage doors, don't settle for average. Choose Elite Door Service.
Think you need a new roof? Think again and save thousands.
We'll help you put a high cost of a roof replacement for at least 5 years.
Or 10.
Or sometimes even teen.
We're America's most trusted roofer because we always try to save your roof rather than replace it.
We'll restore your roof for a fraction of the cost of a new one.
But don't wait. If your roof loses too much protective coating, it's too late.
Call now or scan the code and we'll give you an assessment of your roof for free.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not a life-saving medical alert device. It's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. Don't forget, before we get into the parting shot, you need to head on over to yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for my email blast, the 7 things you should be talking about today. Emailed directly to you every single morning, Monday through Friday. I put that together just for you. yellowhammernews.com. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to that parting shot. My parting shot this week is directed at the Auburn family. Now, I'm a bit of a coach killer this year. I don't know if you guys know this or not. My son and I have gone to a couple football games. We went to the Florida game, and we saw what happened to Billy Napier. And then we went to the Auburn game, and you saw what happened to Hugh Freeze. I was going to go to an Alabama game this weekend, but somebody begged me not to because I wanted Kalen DeBoer to stay the coach. But when we talk about Auburn and the Auburn family, let me tell you this right now. It is time to go outside the Auburn family. It is time to find a big name, a big splash, a big hire, and bring him in here. And I know a lot of people will say, well, what does that mean? Well, Lane Kiffin could be that guy, but hopefully he ends up at Florida because I'm a Florida Gator. But it could also be James Franklin. It could be him as well. And the name Dabo Swinney's even kicking around too. Those are big hires, big names, people who will be able to recruit and do certain things at this particular school. But Auburn also has to be realistic. There are 4 SEC openings right now, Florida, LSU, Auburn, and Arkansas. In that order, they have to be realistic about who they are and what they can get. And if Ole Miss comes open because Lane Kiffin goes there, they move down a notch as well. The AD said that boosters don't have a say in that, and not a single person watching this believes that that's true. The boosters do have a say. He is going to listen to them. He should listen to them, but he should also listen to me. It is time to go outside of the Auburn family. It is time for a big splash hire. That is who you have to go get. Hugh Freeze was a mistake, didn't work out. Okay, time to move on. Just go figure out how much the buyout is for the next guy and land him, get him there, and turn things around. Thank you very much for being here and watching Alabama Politics this week. We appreciate you, and we will be back next week with you. Stay tuned.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant, and Dale Jackson sent you.